Welcome back, everybody. We are about to hop into our second game of the night, a Legend tier game. Uh, the first kind of real Legend tier game, some people might say. And without further ado, let's just hop right into it. We're not going to do character introductions in the kind of typical way, as you guys have. I think a lot of people know who you are at this point. I think people know the story of Euchankus and Selcress and Lance, Silverblood and Kurogan. But that being said, you've been on the ship for a couple of weeks now, so I'm curious, how have you been kind of adjusting to life, or I say the ship, in the base? How are you adjusting to life in the base? Euchaunkas, what have you been doing the last couple of weeks?
Oh, I mean, wait, you're here too? Like out of the... I always thought you were an illusion thing. Alright, whatever. Well, I've been trying to figure out who Clinton Slaughtermurder is. Don't know who that guy is, but everyone keeps saying we need to rescue him. I've been wandering around looking at people in their pods. And I've been trying to work out a proper legend title. I mean, there's no titling ceremony, but everyone needs a better title, right?
Have you come to any conclusions about that?
I'm workshopping it. Yeah, I mean, I can pitch it to you, but that's what you...
You pitch, please, pitch away.
Alright. I am Euchaunkus Ouwoupli, High Priest of the Great Big Cloud, Master of Thunder and Lightning, Inquisitor of Heathens and Heretics, Devourer of just about anything, Champion of the Solstice Pie-Eating Contest. The theater knows me as the guy who eats all the hot dogs. The moon people know me as Apocalypse Rex. And I am known in the Nine Hells as Crowley. And there may be other names. You or even I do not know yet. That was a bit just for Pete.
You monster. Euchaunkas, I hope your 2 weeks have been well.
Yes.
I need to compose myself as a bit just for me, as Euchaunkas was saying. I think it's coming along very well on the whole, your title.
Good.
Maybe a few more names, I would say. But
okay, more names.
Yeah.
Alright. We're gonna need them for everyone then.
Yeah, I do want to know what, like, the Selcresses, Lances, and Kurogans call you, if we're going to go down the preamble. But, Euchaunkas, glad to hear things are going well. Selcress, what have you been doing the last couple weeks?
No.
No?
No.
Selcress.
Yeah?
What have you been doing? What have you been up to?
You know, looking at stuff, and I definitely didn't talk to, I haven't been on the milk.
You haven't been drinking any milk, is what you're saying? You haven't spent, like, any time in the dining commons?
Of course not. Why would I spend time there where I could hear Bartholomew's voice and drown my sorrows in milk? That would be ridiculous. I am obviously doing things that are, very prestigious.
No, I understand, Selcress. It seems... Selcress, are you okay? You don't have to answer that question. You can take as much time as you need, Selcress. I imagine the 2 weeks. I mean, at least you have the comfort of having your dear friends and adventuring companions around you.
Yeah, Kurogan and Lance have been giving me lots of ups.
Lots of ups, you say?
Yeah, shoulder rides.
Oh, but of course. I guess I wasn't entirely familiar with use the term ups, but now that I think about it, you say it all the time. Selcress, I hope that you're okay, and I hope that well, that's all. I hope that you're okay.
I'm fine. I'm the best that exists in this world. Do you think I'm not good? Because I am so fine.
I take it back. Selcress, you're doing great.
Clearly.
So
now leave me to my milk.
I will leave you to your milk. Lance, what have you been doing these last couple weeks?
Mostly I've been trying to establish a much more suitable shrine here. seemed a bit strange to be out here on the moon itself and not have a proper place of worship. It's also quite nice. I mean, the sudden realization of so many things, and it's just nice to have something to spend time on.
It must be comforting to be so close to. I don't know if. Selune is not just the moon as an entity, but to her holy land, the sacred place.
Indeed. I suppose it's quite fitting that here at the precipice of the end, this would be one place that we all find solace.
Fitting indeed. And Lance, where have you been establishing this kind of shrine to Selune? Is it in your chambers, or?
I would have liked that, but it seemed like it'd be a bit imposing to establish that, given how tight our current quarters. I happened to find a nice room, cleared out a few of the things there, and I've spent some time cleaning it up, making it presentable as best I can, given our situation.
Good. I'm glad to hear that you're moving in, kind of, settling down a bit. And last but not least, Kurogan, what have you been doing these last couple weeks?
Okay. Well, I have contemplated going back in, but I have not been able to bring myself to it. But I have been talking to Gamora. Through the glass.
Yeah. Oh, now I understand what you mean.
On less dark note, though, I have also been working with Euchaunkas to figure out a new name for myself.
Really?
Yes.
I've been working.
Yes.
Yes. I was thinking the Golden God. Kurogan, the Golden God.
That definitely seems like a fitting title for a legendary adventurer. And Kurogan, I think you got it in one on that one.
I am very glad you think so, disembodied voice of Pete.
Yes, then thank you. Thank you for addressing me properly. I don't think everyone's kind of gotten their bearings yet and kind of gotten used to it, but I appreciate it.
Kurogan is strong. I've been through worse than this before.
And I have no doubt you will be. Well, I guess that was supposed to sound encouraging, but I was about to say I have no doubt you'll be through worse again.
Oh God! What have you done, disembodied voice of Pete?
Rude.
Take that and try and take it in the most positive way. And without further ado, Selcress, I know you've been kind of avoiding the dining commons, but where we begin, at least 3 of the adventurers are kind of meeting up for breakfast. Selcress, do you join them in the dining commons?
Yeah, I'm there. It's fine.
All 4 of you kind of sitting around a table eating. You've kind of figured out how to, at this point, get the kind of the box that kind of has Bartholomew's voice in it, and that kind of gives you the food. You've kind of figured out how to. It has some speakers on it, and it just plays kind of some like pleasant music as you guys are just kind of there sitting and eating. So, what do you all do?
I shouldn't have eaten so fast.
I miss Bartholomew.
I do too, Selcress.
What do you mean? He's in the magic food box now.
It's not him!
That's not really him.
Close enough.
It is not the same, Euchankus. You don't understand.
It's
You're
not
right.
close enough. He does not give me head pats from in there. Nor does he acknowledge my greatness. He says thank you. It's weird.
Well, that is very weird. And very not like him at all. It's kind of concerning. I mean, couldn't he have at least made his NPC Bartholomew's a little more lifelike?
I wonder how they got that voice recording of him.
That's a good point.
Clearly, this is all just part of a contingency.
Maybe.
We planned for his death.
I mean...
It sounds like a Bartholomew thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who is anyone knows that you should always plan for your death, which is why I already have my will written out, you know?
Yeah, and I've got things set up pretty nice in the Nine Hells.
My temple will explode when I die.
Hi everyone. How's it going?
Oh, Roger, I almost mistook you for Bartholomew there for a second.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm just Roger.
Hey, crotchety and old now.
I finished setting up the old pods, some of the original ones. You can try and go back into the illusion if you want now. I think I've got at least 4 working ones.
Really? I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could.
Well, wait, what did you say that the first known artifact was? You said it was under the shop, right?
Bartholomew AI, where did we find it? The artifact.
As you're kind of calling that out, as Roger calls that out, you see an AI that you actually haven't seen yet, and you see just kind of an illusory Bartholomew kind of appears and just goes, "Ah, greetings."
Hi.
The last known location of the, and he kind of like pauses for a moment, and this kind of sentence just kind of becomes jumbled as he says it. He doesn't like, he's like not able to like say whatever the word is that he's referring to, but you know he's referring to the hidden. Was what Roger was talking about. Was within my tomb.
Well, there you go.
And would you not all agree that it would be a little reckless and dangerous to simply go down there and search for it, without really knowing what kind of traps there are, who might also be in the tomb, you know, how exactly to get into the tomb?
Roger?
Yeah?
Is there a tomb back in the day? Like, would it be in the illusion?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's a great question.
You never checked?
Well, no, I didn't. I didn't know the tomb really even existed for a while.
No, Roger and his companions just foolhardily went down to the surface, and half of them died.
More than half.
All right, Euchaunkas.
Most of them.
I'm quite sure they did some research on their own.
Thank you, Lan. No, here's the thing. Maybe, I know this whole moon base wasn't a thing before Bartholomew died, and it just kind of sprang into existence.
Contingency.
It's possible his whole tomb did as well, or he could have built it. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it.
Well,
we can tell you, we can show you it, or at least the entrance.
Well, that's a good idea. We should definitely do that. Yes.
Good work, NPC Bartholomew. Bring it up on the holodeck.
Yeah.
What is it?
Obey us.
Everyone keeps saying that.
That's what I've named it. It stands for Notable Polygon Created Image. We ignore the I.
Yeah, the I is silent. Everyone knows that.
No, the I is pronounced. It's C-I. It's pronounced C, NPC.
Yeah, thank you, Bartholomew. Come with me, everyone. Let's go to the hollow room.
Yeah, you go down to the hollow room.
I like this AI. He NPC Bartholomew. He's got some
doesn't
sass.
make any sense.
He kind of brings you down into the chamber, and the same room in which you were viewing your various keeps before, and you hear the voice. You'd heard this kind of NPC speaking in this chamber, and you kind of hear coming from within it, he's saying, bringing up Bartholomew's shop, and you see now projected in the space what appears to be an image.
You should call it my shop, not Bartholomew's shop.
User preferences changed. Bringing up my shop.
There you go.
And as he kind of says that, he brings it up before you, and you see kind of, just 3D illusory imaging of Bartholomew's shop. However, it is crushed and kind of burnt. You can see old kind of cinders, or old tinders rather, are kind of falling down sideways, blackened and coated in ash, and the shop is just completely destroyed. Apparently, it's somewhere underneath it.
I'm gonna punch the person
What
who
happened?
did that.
Unknown.
I mean, he doesn't know. I have no idea. Like I said, I came out ahead of you guys, but not that much. This was like this before I got here.
Looks
Next to
crushed.
The Last Hope Tavern next to it is in
And burned. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't understand that.
Don't question magic.
Well, anyway, I'm going to go and try and reconfigure some of the sensors up in the observatory. You know, I've been trying to get them to tune in on some of these artifacts, but it's really hard without kind of more information. I'm gonna go do that. You all have fun. I think this NPC Tholomew should help you.
Alright, but
You require
Roger,
assistance.
Yes.
would there be more information inside the illusion?
Well, I suppose I haven't been there.
Well then,
Maybe.
if we collect some information, we'll bring it back to you, and we'll see if you can find any others.
And I'll look for well, any sort of leads I can in the meantime. Just be careful. You never know what comes along with information.
Well, at
Maybe.
least if we die in there, we won't die out here.
Right?
Will we
Yeah.
be expelled from the illusion should we die within, or will we
No,
simply...
trust Bartholomew just brings you back in.
Okay.
Okay,
Happened
so
to me
it's just...
dozens of times.
Oh, like old times then.
Alright, well, I'll see y'all later. And Roger kind of walks away.
Roger,
like a very old
don't-
gnome.
Don't forget your coffee!
I'll just get a new one. Just dump that in the trash.
Fine!
No,
Remember
don't
to
eat
get
it.
decaf. At your age, Roger, you shouldn't be having so much caffeine.
Euchaunkas, dump this for me.
I eat the cup.
Alright, it disappears into the void of Euchaunkas' body. So, yeah, you guys are here. Gonna finish up your breakfast. What do you do?
Alright, let's go back. Maybe we can learn more about the artifacts in the illusion.
So you want to go back into the illusion to begin?
Should we gather any spell type information in the current world before going?
And
What are you referring to?
If we were to ask our various higher powers questions about anything, it seems that they might be more accurate out of the illusion than within.
maybe, but we could try. What do you need to ask your higher power, I guess?
Well, we have some information that the tome is within the tomb. But are we
No.
sure that's the first one we should be pursuing?
The
Yeah,
hidden is
that's
within the tomb.
The hidden, yeah.
Oh yes, the tome was towards the Calculord that they were seeking.
What were the eight items again? There's the hidden, the seed,
The door,
the
The
door,
ring.
the tome, the what one? The rain?
the ring,
Oh, the ring.
Lens.
The sword?
the cloak.
You got them all.
The cloak.
Hmm.
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 Alright, so what's your guys' first play gonna be?
Do we want to legend lore and commune right now?
If we're going after the hidden, we've already done one legend lore on it. It might be best to go after it first and then.
Should we
similarly-
pursue the hidden?
I mean, it's the only lead we got.
We could always ask.
I'm back. Hello, I'm sorry about that. One last thing, Euchaunkas, before I head back up. The clones that you ordered, well underway. Only 106 more days left. All right, bye.
106 days, then.
Okay. Our clones, right?
Yes.
And
In case we die.
I suppose once that gets down to a week or so, we would be well enough to attempt some kind of expedition to the surface without too much worry.
Well, come on, guys. Chop, chop. Let's go under the illusion.
Let's go.
All right. You begin working your way up towards the observatory, where Roger has kind of set up the pods and has them ready to kind of move into and to dive back into the illusion. You can see as you're moving around the chamber, you have to take kind of a long elevator to get up there. They are very you can tell that like Roger has really like jury-rigged a lot of this stuff. You can see like loose wires and all kinds of different things that are like stretching out and into them. You can see a few like different like odd magical runes that he's just painted on the like outside of them and like carved into them in different places to make the magic kind of work outside of the original kind of setup for it. They're nowhere near as like pretty and efficient looking as the original ones, but according to Roger, they'll do the trick.
This can't possibly be safe.
Has anything we've ever done been safe?
You got a point.
Using them at least.
Well, technically, yes, because we couldn't die in that other world.
True.
Yeah.
But did we die, or was that just a program for the way the illusion would have us perceive?
Well, from what I gathered from Roger, the illusion was just sort of, the past being played again in our heads, or something. I don't know.
Okay, this is weird. Let's go in now.
All right, you guys hop into your respective pods, which I guess there's no real order for them. You just all hop into a pod, and kind of they close down around you, and as you do, you feel what a magical slumber begin to overtake you. Even you, Selcress, who do not sleep, you merely meditate. It kind of pushes beyond just your elven heritage in this space, and your vision goes black, and then suddenly you're in a space of pure white, as you were when you left. And before you can see a simple wooden door.
Are we ready?
I walk through it.
All right.
Okay, guess screw the ceremony then.
And that was going to be a dramatic first entry.
Kind of just.
All right, let's open this door.
And Euchaunkas, you see up ahead as you say that, Selcress is like turning the door handle and walking in. And Euchaunkas, you step forward into the front of Bartholomew's shop.
If you need a magic item, you know where to stop. Just head on down. It's your only choice. To Bartholomew's shop.
Ah, greetings, adventurers. It's very good to see you all. Is there something that you wish to purchase?
Oh, no, not at all. We had some questions though.
Bartholomew.
Oh, certainly. Yes,
Selcress goes up to him
again,
and pokes him a couple times.
You poke Bartholomew a couple times. He goes, "Yes, what is it?"
He reacts.
We know you're
Yes, he
dead.
reacts.
We know you're dead.
I'm sorry. He kind of turns his head to the side and looks at you, kind of confused.
Look, anything I whispered to Euchaunkas, anything we say about the outside world is automatically not going to come out the right way here. Remember, Roger tried to warn
I
us.
figured it might be an exception for him.
While they're explaining, Selcress has just sneakily hugged Bartholomew and then moved off to the side.
I saw that.
I also saw that.
You didn't see anything.
Passive perception of 14.
Passive perception of 19.
Passive perception of also 19.
Make a stealth check, Selcress. You're probably gonna need a nat 20.
It's fine. I can do this. Darn it.
Everyone sees.
We all saw you.
Bartholomew kind of looks down. There's an odd show of affection, Selcress. Kind of passes
Shut up, old man.
my apologies, I suppose. So, you said you had some questions for me?
Hey, did you
Yes.
ever consider making a tomb for yourself under the shop?
Yeah, in case, you died or something.
He kind of thinks for a time and says,
Well, to starters, I'll never die. But if I were, under the shop seems as good a place as any, yes.
What would you put in that tomb?
he thinks for a little while.
Hypothetically, what would you put in the hypothetical tomb?
In the hypothetical tomb, a number of different traps and obstacles that would make it impossible for anyone to intrude.
If you should... Go ahead.
Oh, no, do go.
This is a fun game.
If you brought, I don't know, any one item into your tomb, what might it be?
I'm very partial to my hat.
He kind of points at it.
I mean, like, a great artifact or something. Just in the realm of possibilities.
Something with the power to change the world, perhaps.
I'm very fond of my hat.
And he points at it again.
What about the hidden? Would you take the hidden into your tomb?
They're hidden. You mean you wish
Yep.
to speak about the back room.
And he goes to walk in. Yes, we can come, and perhaps we should not speak out here, though.
Right, of course.
Yeah, that's a good idea, let's go.
He kind of walks into the back room.
No, I would. I would not put the hidden in my tomb. I suppose I would put all of these magical artifacts in my tomb if I were. If I had the opportunity to do so. It took me a very long time to collect all of them, you see.
Are you sure it would be wise to leave them all in one place if you were not there to guard?
No, my tomb, if I were to... We're talking about this hypothetical tomb, yes?
Yeah, totally hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
I don't think I would put these things in my tomb, now that I think I'd probably make dungeons for all of them, is the kind of thing I would do, and put them all in it. Why would I bury
That
one
makes
with
sense.
Me? Why would I bury one with me?
I mean, you really like the hidden, don't you?
Everyone does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And as you're all kind of looking at it, you all feel that like intense emotion from the first time that you saw it. Even here in the illusion, the power of this thing is either accurately portrayed or that potent. You're not sure, but you all feel this like intense longing and this feeling of this like bittersweet joy as you look at whatever's underneath.
I look away immediately. Another hypothetical.
Bartholomew kind of waves that away.
Another hypothetical. Where would you hypothetically put the entrance to this tomb?
Well, we were talking about, like I said, I had not considered the possibility of a tomb, but under the shop sounds a great idea.
I have an idea for a game, Bartholomew.
Oh, yes, please.
And as he's saying that, he's kind of walking out, and you see him kind of walk over to a spot on the floor, and he just like taps his staff on the ground, and you see like a little kind of trap door appear in the shop. I'd probably do something like that.
Oh. So can you maybe we're all bored, so could you maybe whip us up a tomb to go, fight through?
Yes, it's just a game. Some fun between friends.
He kind of thinks
Fun.
I have some dungeons and various. Well, actually, I believe I've. Some of your compatriots have been through some of them, and at this point...
Oh no, not the cube again.
Bartholomew goes over into a side door that just kind of appears and walks into this odd kind of workshop-y area, and you see him saying, I call it the cube.
Oh,
I remember the cube.
What's the
That
cube?
seemed a bit easy, though, wasn't it, Bartholomew? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
you
for
have-
stories, isn't it? Fresh recruits?
Yeah, you have
Yes, I've designed it for fresh recruits, yes.
give us
you have a-
something that'll, kill us if it has to.
Exactly. Think of it this way. If it kills us, it shan't be terribly much trouble. And if you were to design it after your tomb, not only would it be a grand experiment for us, but it would also allow you to see what the best of the best are able to do against it, which, of course, you'd want to make sure it would be even proof against our entrance.
Yes, and if we get through it, no problem, then you can always improve the traps.
And he goes, you're looking for a quest. Now I see. Always industrious, the four of you. Very well. Now, I've been hearing rumors far off that Penelope Slatespeaker of the Silvered Peaks Historical Society has recently uncovered a rather interesting tomb. You see, apparently it was the remains of a very ancient lich. From what I understand, the lich had a certain penchant for collecting cards. Perhaps you could
No,
go on
I already dealt with that guy.
I believe I was there for that as well. The Dungeon Master Lich.
I'm sorry, you've already... And he kind of looks confused for a moment and says, greetings, adventurers. Is there something I can help you with?
Is the trap door still there?
We broke it.
No, it disappears.
Hey, Bartholomew, join me in the back room for a minute.
You go through the same thing, you get to the point you were. All
Oh,
right.
no.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
doing something different.
All right, yeah.
All right, Bartholomew. Let's play a bit of an association game. I'm going to point at one of these backroom items,
Yes.
and you say the first, I don't know, great evil that comes to mind when I point at it.
He goes, very well.
I will
try and play this game, yes.
I will point at the hidden.
The green sun.
Okay, and then I point at the seed.
He thinks for a while. The Lord of Winter.
Okay, and I will point at the sword.
The fastest gun in the West.
And the cloak.
There's someone really named that?
He kind of looks over at the cloak for a while. The Warlocks of Fashion.
Gotta note that one. And the tome.
The Calculode.
Okay, and the door.
The Avatar of the Edge.
And the ring.
He kind of looks at it for a while. Boogity Beholder.
And what's the one I'm forgetting? There's one more here, and I'm...
Lens.
Did you do...
The lens. The lens.
Yeah, the lens.
Mort.
All right. Now,
That was a fun
why
game.
did those evils come to mind for each of these items? It's like
I
with
thought
this-
we were supposed to just a free association.
I feel like that might have been just exactly what happened. Do you think the hidden would be a useful tool in, I don't know, defeating the green sun?
These artifacts are very powerful. They would not be used lightly. I would be hesitant to say that one should use them in any circumstance.
All right, but what if you, let's say, what if 8 great evils, perhaps the 8 you named, took over the world, and we needed a way to defeat them, and these artifacts were maybe the best way to do that? Would you say the cloak would perhaps be the best at defeating I say defeating, I mean totally annihilating the 8 warlocks of fashion?
And as you're getting closer and closer to just talking out the past, Bartholomew seems to be getting a little bit less of what you're saying, and he just kind of at the end of that sentence looks at you and just goes, "Yes, it is a very powerful item."
So, Bartholomew, let's say you made a tomb with lots of traps.
Doing this again.
I am doing this again.
Are you going back the whole tomb? What hypothetical tomb?
Just to see if he can get the
You're back at the tomb zone. He understands this idea of a hypothetical tomb. Yes.
And where in this room would you say you would put the entrance?
He does the same thing.
So
I take note of where he would put the entrance.
It's just in the middle of the shop floor. That just puts a trapdoor.
it wouldn't be, too bad if I looked down in there, would it?
Well, I mean, you can. There's nothing to look at. I don't have a tomb under my shop. And you just kind of go over and open the trapdoor, and you see there's just some stairs and then a wall.
Well, thank you anyway. I suppose that
I go down the trapdoor.
All right.
I'm going with.
Euchaunkas.
I guess I'll also go in.
You go down some simple wooden stairs, and then there's just a concrete wall in front of you.
I touch the wall.
seems to be made of concrete.
I stone shape the wall.
Into what?
A hole.
All right, you dig a hole into just distant concrete. You just start stone shaping, and it's just concrete all the way down.
Bartholomew,
Yes.
what are a couple of your favorite traps? I'm working on a new design for my keep, and I wanted some pointers.
You know, it's a classic, but I've always been partial to the pitfall.
What would you put at the bottom?
I mean, if we're talking, it's got to be spikes, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's classic.
I mean, obviously.
I mean, yeah, but I'd put something like, I don't know, lightning.
Yeah, of course
Well, I
you
mean,
would.
There's no accounting for taste.
Yeah.
Or
Why do you
like,
put lightning in the bottom of the
like
pit?
one of those, don't question me, those spheres that eat everything.
You?
Like
I'm not a
sphere of
sphere.
annihilation.
Yes, one of those.
That's a much different. I would put that in a demon mouth if I had to pick.
A demon
I see.
Yeah,
mouth.
sort of like an open-mouthed demon, and have.
Well, that just seems like it'd be kind of tacky.
It's not the best devil taste, but it's demon
I believe
taste.
should be beheld to.
So, do you like wall traps? Are those a big thing of yours?
Wall traps.
Yeah, like traps in the walls, like spikes coming out, or
like
acid
walls that,
spraying.
like, slowly kind of squeeze down on you.
Yeah, like that.
That's another classic. Great one.
What are some other good traps that you yourself might use?
I thought we were just talking about traps I like. Traps I would use.
Yeah.
Any kind of things. Lot of ones that are difficult to get through.
That's real descriptive.
Like a floor trap that's sort of like a teeter-totter that launches you into lava.
No, that's a little bit rote.
Yeah, that's
I thought we were
tacky.
just talking about
Like a magic rune that turns your enemies into sheep.
You see, one of the great things about traps is that they're surprises, and if I told you my favorite traps, then you'd know what my favorite traps were, and so they wouldn't be as effective as traps.
But why would you use them against us?
He just looks down at you. Why would you tell anyone what your traps were?
That's true.
Just
Yeah.
He has a good point.
Do all of you use traps so frequently?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even I have traps around my gym.
Yeah, I dig like big holes around villages and then run people into them.
I can't say
This
what
is
my traps
Roger
are.
from the Illusion. I have traps in the station.
That door actually explodes if you're not a member of the shop.
What?
What?
I dig pit holes all over the place and set traps all in my gym. And if a new recruit cannot pass through them, they are not worthy to be trained by me.
That's
Isn't the
kind of
entire
hard.
point of going there to train and get stronger?
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what
I'm
the
talking
door-
for the elite class. The elite class. Come on, guys. Everyone can go there, but to get into the elite class, you have to be A game, you know?
What about that other beholder who was angry at you for stealing his name?
Wait.
Oh, you mean Kurogan?
Yeah, I think Kurogan was his name.
Well, yeah, Kurogan's, that's the one.
Ah, yes.
Wait,
I killed him, it's fine.
Oh, good.
that's,
Have you ever-
the exploding door really explains that arm I found outside one day.
Oh, did someone try and... Oh, I don't really pay attention. Anyone who dies to that trap isn't worth my time, really.
Yeah, I ate it.
Oh,
So,
good.
Yeah,
Guys-
Euchaunkas is like a cleanup crew.
Did you have any more questions for me?
yeah, what do you know about the fastest gun in the West?
Yeah, he sounds weird.
He kind of thinks for a while, and he looks back at you. Nothing.
Oh,
Really?
nothing?
That's what he says.
I remember him. I remember him very well.
What was he like?
He was ugly, and he shot spittle all the time. He used his magic rays to do bad things to people so that they couldn't shoot.
Uh-huh.
What about the Warlocks of Fashion? I believe I remember the name of a few of them. Not,
Yeah, Valorant, he
quite
got me
so-
that really cool thing.
I'm gonna
Oh,
kill
yeah.
Laurel and Amani or whatever the hell their names are.
You're referring, of course, to Valerian. There was also La Aurel and Armana.
And 5 others.
Yes, those are the ones that I'm aware of, at least. I don't know if... Well... I don't know if there are more than 3.
Why?
They're the 8 warlocks of fashion.
Yes. That's true, they do say that, don't they? I've never met the others.
You know, you might know a little bit about the Green Sun, seeing as how they're... Actually, I know a little bit about the Green Sun, they're very tricky. Is there anything important that we seem to be missing or something? Because every time I've gone in there, all I've done when I came out was be confused.
That sounds very much like their methodology. Now, the Green Sun are a terrifying threat. From what I understand, well, some of the cultists have spoken that that confusion is what their god or entity or figure of their cult, whatever it is, it feeds on.
He feeds on confusion.
And other negative emotions, the more nuanced ones. It doesn't much for sadness, but melancholy and ennui, yes.
So what happens if you are very positive around them?
I suppose I don't know. Few do that, as they're very, alarming presences. Yes.
They say laughter is the best medicine, but perhaps it could be the best weapon.
Oh.
Perhaps.
Bartholomew,
Yes, Selcress.
the Calculord, he rose once in the past, right? Like a long time ago?
Oh, there has never been a Calculord. The Trigonomes speak of it all the time. It is their ancient vigil to assure that the math goblins never learned in mathematics that advanced.
Really fucked that up.
What would happen if they did?
Oh, if a math goblin were ever to learn calculus, they would ascend to a Calculord. They would have immeasurable power, be able to reshape reality as you know it. Terrifying thought, really. Yes.
Okay,
Trigonomes are ever vigilant, though.
real quick, everyone huddle.
1 sec, milk break. Bartholomew, just go brush your beard or something.
He just doesn't. He just continues to stand behind the counter, ignoring the... I think I'll just be here.
So,
He's an idiot.
yes, he doesn't know anything about the things, because apparently...
We're in the past.
Yeah, it might be the thing. So,
I'm one of the most intelligent beings that has ever walked the face of...
Don't listen in on us!
Yeah, that's
One of
rude.
the most...
does anyone have a zone of silence or something?
Well, if we
As if
did
I
a
was
zone of
hearing you
silence,
in an
it'd be
aura of
silent.
silence.
You know what? One moment, we're gonna just, like, huddle and, like, scoot more away from him.
All right.
Like a couple feet.
Yeah. So, I'm thinking. We don't have a ton of information, and I don't think we're going to get a lot right here, right now. But we might have to scout down onto the land.
Like the actual land?
The actual land. Especially since now we kind of know where the trapdoor would be to the tomb.
Well, first, Lance,
Yes.
do you think you could find out more about the other...
She just gestures to the back room.
I mean, we can do that out there. You don't have to be with the item.
You don't?
Indeed.
Okay. But I don't want to leave.
She just looks over at Bartholomew.
You can come back anytime you want, you know that. Now that these are set up.
But we just
Besides,
got
he's the
here.
idiot version. Something broken in that one.
Besides, if we go to the tomb, we'll get to see the real Bartholomew. We will find a way to bring him back.
Yeah.
We could find a way to bring him back, I'm sure.
If his body's even there.
Hey, Bartholomew, if you died, would your body explode?
No.
That would be weird. What the hell, Euchaunkas?
I don't know. I just figured if I died, I'd have my body explode if that were an option.
And as you're saying that, he's like a Baylor, huh? That might
I was
be,
thinking bigger, but yeah.
Well, yes, but the concept. Perhaps that is a good idea. I could perhaps set up some type of contingency that when I die, because presumably if I were to ever die... Wait, I forgot. I'll never die. And he smiles and looks at you.
But, if...
Oh, no, I definitely will set up a contingency for my body to explode. It's a very good idea.
Yeah, I don't think his body's there. I think he exploded.
Bartholomew, as a matter of the cloth, I should ask, since
I
we are
definitely
asking about such general and vague hypotheticals, you haven't set your soul up in a precarious situation where, should you die, which of course would never happen, but you're the only one with a claim to it, yes?
Oh, no. The soul's far too valuable to frolic away on some pact or other. No. I am clear. He kind of points at his body.
Frolic away?
I think the choice is a terrible one, if I'm being honest, Selcress. You don't know what a devil would want to do with your soul. But I know a lot of people like it, so far be it from me.
I mean, I got another 100,000 years maybe. I'll go live forever.
100,000 years is 100,000 years, not forever.
Your patron's a devil. Don't most roll like demons. Specifically that one demon.
You mean my dad?
The spidery one.
Oh, you mean Loth? She's a goddess, not a demon, you silly.
But she lives in the abyss?
Demon web of the abyss, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Demon adjacent.
Hey, I will not judge somebody's living arrangements. I once lived in a demon-infested hovel. What?
Do you guys have other questions?
I don't.
Or you guys legend lore stuff in the background?
Let's see if he says the same thing for my exercise earlier. I go through each of the items again and see if he says the exact same thing.
He does.
Mm.
But he also looks at you and goes, "Why are we doing this again?"
Fun.
Quick reset him!
Bartholomew, if we were to go through and do a association test with each of the great evils, would you identify a item from the back room that you feel like most fits them?
You want to do the same thing in reverse?
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, the association is significantly stronger because I've done it twice now, so it's probably going to be the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
That's true.
That is fair.
Jeez, guys, can't you think of anything new?
Yeah, clearly, like,
She just sweats
If you
nervously for
had
a
to
moment.
pick a favorite item in this room, what would it be? Besides your hat?
It's probably his hat.
And he looks over at the ring.
Oh, that would be the ring. Easy.
Why is that?
Why?
As each of you look at the ring, I don't know if any of you have ever examined the ring too closely before. Selcress, you see an icy band made of kind of crystalline fractals that seems to beckon you towards it, and kind of floating within it. As you look at it, you hear almost like an infernal chuckle coming from your shadow underneath you, perhaps. Lance, you see a silver band. It appears to be. It appears to have kind of some 7 concentric rings around the outside of it. It glows with a soft kind of whitish light. Euchaunkas, what you see in front of you, it appears to be just a circle of fog that just rests on the counter, seemingly maintaining solid but misty and fluid, while maintaining its form. Kurogan, what you see is a brilliant golden ring, and embossed upon it is what looks like a really kind of elaborate kind of gemstone carving of a golden dragon with kind of like rubies in the place of the eyes, and you can feel like a warmth coming off of it. Bartholomew says,
I don't know, that really looks more my style than yours.
I don't know, it looks pretty cool to me too. It's quite rad.
What's that ice here?
The silver would definitely complement his beard.
Silver? All I see is gold and very shiny.
Oh, for me, it's a plain wooden band.
Really?
Yes.
I guess you like things simple.
That's why I only carry 2 magic items. 3. And he kind of conjures his bag. But he has a staff hat and bag.
I always assumed the robes were magical.
Nope. Stylish, though.
No
what are these
more
things?
They are
robes.
very stylish.
What do these things do, I say, just sort of pointing at the backroom items?
Oh. Well, you would have to purchase them if you want to. We'll see that. And, well, frankly, I probably shouldn't sell them, but if you were to offer a high enough price, then perhaps...
One Bartholomew buck.
What are we talking about, Euchaunkas? What are we...
For the hidden.
Yeah. Euchaunkas, I don't... this is not funny to me. I don't joke about business.
I do have these gravitational shorts and this commemorative backpack.
And he starts kind of getting frustrated and like pushing you out of the
Wait,
shop.
no, this Bartholomew buck is different. I have it in the real world. That's not going to make sense to you. But I do have it in the real world.
That means nothing to him, and he kind of like shoves you out of the back room.
Is there anything else I can help you with? Anything you wish to purchase at this time?
The world has ended. We're all trapped on the moon trying to save the world. That should reset him.
And you
Roger.
as well, Lance,
He says.
Roger. Meta, non-Roger up in the control deck. Is there a cheat code or something you can alter this illusion to give us enough Bart bucks to buy one of these and have Bartholomew explain it to us?
Sorry, I've got nothing.
You really
Alright.
can't just cheat code in some.
Let's go kill the other adventurers and
Doesn't
take
work
their
like that.
Bartholomew bucks.
No, we're not doing that. Stop it.
What? They'll come back.
Somebody enter the Konami code or something!
Alright, what?
What?
What? You guys don't know about the legendary wizard Konami?
As you hear Roger click a couple of buttons, you find yourself standing once more in the front of the shop, kind of walking in the front door, and you hear,
If you need a magic item, you
Ah,
know where to
greetings,
stop.
adventurers.
Just head on down. It's your only choice to Bartholomew's shop.
Is there something I can help you with?
I think it's time to go, guys.
Do you want to hang out sometime? Maybe like this weekend?
Certainly, Selcress. He looks at you a little bit confused. We can perhaps spend time. He kind of like smiles a little bit.
She kind of, turns away in her very.
Yep.
Yeah, I like you, but I don't.
Soon
like
today.
you." Yes.
yeah, Baka, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, don't be
Roger.
late.
Roger, what did you do? Did you give us money?
Oh, you look down your pockets. There's no thing. He looks like he just resetted it.
Guys, I think it's time to go back to the real world.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
Until then, Bartholomew, and I'll see you on the weekend, okay?
Very
Oh,
well.
hey, everybody!
Oh, hey, Roger.
Oh, God, no.
Ah,
There's 2 of you.
oh man, it feels good to be able to walk again. This is wonderful.
Roger,
wait,
I was
wait a
looking
minute.
for you before.
Bartholomew, I just walked through the door.
Wait, is that you, or is that...
If you need a
Ah,
magic
This-
there we
item,
go.
you know where to stop.
I love hearing it. It's great.
I didn't realize
Anyway.
it played for you as well.
Ugh,
Greetings, adventurers.
I was an adventurer one time. Anyway, not
So,
gonna
wait,
continue that
this
meme.
is you?
But yeah, no, this is me.
Like the real you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, why are you here?
I don't know. I figured, I'd stop by. I do this most days.
Okay, well, we got
that's-
as much information as we could
Moonbaits
out of
mean
him.
anything to you?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a moon. There's a base on the moon.
Good
Okay.
one, Roger.
Okay.
See, it's the real one.
I had to make sure. He's being weird.
You want to go bird watching, anyone? I love going bird watching in here.
Will that help us defeat the great evils?
Already the
Is
great
this what
evil
you've been
birds?
doing for a year and a half?
We've discovered a couple things, actually.
I mean, are any of the great evils birds?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Shouldn't you know?
No, I don't think
Boogity
they
had a
are.
penchant for rubber ducks. Does that count?
Maybe.
I still have my rubber ducky collection, actually.
I don't know.
Bartholomew speaks up. The Avatar of the Edge sometimes takes the form of a vulture.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw him once.
I
Which
don't know.
avatar is that?
I just,
It was, I think it was in the west? By the frontier, maybe?
Hey, Bartholomew, can you bring Clinton Slaughter Murder here? I've never met him, and I don't know who he is.
I can send you to the Baradak Swamp, where he.
Yeah, let's go visit Clint.
You're there.
Whoa.
Is Roger with us?
They usually
no,
normally,
Roger
doesn't
got
normally
left
go
behind.
that faster.
All right, yeah, you're in front of Clinton Slaughter Murder's house within the Baradak Swamp.
All right, I knock.
Well, as you look,
You can knock.
okay, I gotta find the music real quick. Crap, you guys caught me unawares. Yeah, you knock
XD
on the
random.
door. Yeah,
Yes.
XD random. So, as you stand before a large, leaning stone tower in the Baradak Swamp, the murky, burbling black mire all around, there is an ancient, what looks like mummified illithid head mounted to a doorway. As you reach forward to knock, its tentacles, still somewhat slimy, reach forward almost to grab your hand. You knock either way. A few moments later, a figure wearing a dark black cloak embroidered with gold thread woven to make the motifs of skulls on his shoulders, and a large skull set inside a pentagram among the front of the cloak, where it closed. He pulls back the cloak, and you see a man with fairly short-cut brown hair. And Selcress, he's still got that little bit of a brown goatee going on, that chestnut goatee.
Yeah, it doesn't look good on him.
And he goes, "Hey, how's it going? I'm Clint. Oh, Euchaunkas! Crixus has told me so much about you, and Selcress!" He kind of like looks very happy.
It's so good to see you again.
Kurogan, Lance, what do I owe this? This is wonderful.
Yeah, I figured we should meet before we rescued you.
I don't need any rescuing yet, I'll tell you.
Clint, I have an order for you.
I just got takeout the other just a little earlier, so maybe in a few hours I might need some help.
We'll be there to.
Don't-
You a chef?
Please don't put it down your sink.
That's exactly what I did, Selcress.
No.
Oh no!
I didn't think.
Ugh.
Anyway, please come in, please. Have a seat, relax. Could I get you anything?
So
yes,
Chris is
Euchaunkas.
immediately gonna go
I'm a
jump on the couch.
I'm Clinton Slaughter Murder, of the Slaughter Murder family. I'm a bit of a chef romancer. I dabble in chef romancy. So, I've seen quite a bit of your handiwork.
Oh.
Well, yes, being a chef romancer, I put people back together that have been dismembered or eaten, generally by monsters. Ooh, you leave quite a trail of carnage in your path. Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, please, everyone, relax, sit down. And as you enter into his small, little tower, you can see this first floor seems to be one back room, presumably a kitchen, and one big sitting room with a big staircase heading up on the right side. In the sitting room, there's all sorts of profane iconography all over the walls, holy symbols to every number of horrible, evil, and profane god. Also, it seems most of the furniture in this room seems to be animated to some degree. For example, the couch kind of runs over to Selcress, purring and nuzzling her as she gets
pets it.
close.
She pets the couch.
Yeah, it kind of like leans down so that you can jump on. It can give you a bit of a ride, running around.
If we say the secret word, is everything in here gonna scream?
You don't know. There's also a very large coffee table, which appears to be a stone sarcophagus.
Clint, can you cater a get together I'm having with Bartholomew this weekend, or are you booked up?
Oh, so I can make room, no problem. I can make time.
Okay.
But for now, would anyone like anything? Some tea? I've got some excellent deathweed in.
Oh,
Very fresh.
I'll take it.
There was some slaughter out near the Wilderwoad. Awful for those poor veggie-pygmies. Great for the deathweed.
Good. Dead veggie-pygmies.
So that's yes for Euchaunkas. 1 tea, Selcress, you 1 or 1?
Yep.
My buddy Lance, Kurogan, either of you two?
I suppose I can't turn that down.
My interest is more in information.
Sure. Let me go start the tea.
Of course.
Starts the tea, comes back in. So, what can I help you with?
I'm sitting like a mobster at one of the ends of the tables.
Okay.
So we have recently come across some troubles that we are kind of trying to deal with. Personal stuff, nothing too big. But we were looking for some information.
Right. Okay.
On
like what?
Well, maybe some interesting things, weaknesses, strengths of the Green Sun cult, for instance.
Oh yeah, do you know anything about those guys? They're kind of weird.
Yes.
Yeah, they're a little strange. I don't know. I've never really felt there was anything too off about them, but it's a little weird.
Well, we heard they deal in confusion and negative emotions. So we have the theory that perhaps positive emotions would have the reverse effect against them. Does that maybe make sense?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe.
Do you know if they're greedy or anything?
Greedy?
Yeah. Like, do they like
not
things?
Very familiar. I've catered for them a handful of times, but I'm just not... I don't know them very well.
Have you ever been to Central City?
Oh, all the time.
Okay.
Well, I know they run most of the utilities there, and everything seems to work fine enough.
Yeah. Do you know anything about the Mort problem?
Yeah, no, those Morts, they can be a bit of a pain. I hear word around, because I'll tell you, I've catered for a lot of Morts. Apparently there's just one Mort, like a single Mort.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
We heard that rumor. Has anybody even known where he is? I mean, obviously not, otherwise he would have been caught, right?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't understand how he managed to keep track of that whole thing with all the Morts looking the same. I don't know. I as far as I'm aware, he's just some powerful wizard.
Oh, Clint, have you catered for the Warlocks of Fashion?
Once.
Oh, how bad is their fashion sense, am I right?
Well, I will say, it was a pretty classy party, and they're probably the only people I've ever catered for that have actually appreciated some of the presentation in my meals.
I appreciate your presentation.
But yeah, they gave me 2 stars on Yelp, so
what?
Not a big fan.
Ugh.
Yeah, well,
Where did you cater for them?
Bad Yelp review.
Their comment was
awful.
Outstanding. Did great. 2 stars. Come on.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I was pretty upset. I was furious.
Yeah, I mean, those warlocks. Hey, I don't know, if you were ever in a bad situation and we rescued you, would you help us kill the warlocks?
What?
What?
If, I don't know, you were ever mind right, you were mind controlled. Mm-hmm. Stay with me. You with me? Okay,
Yeah.
and we freed you from that mind control.
Sure. Is the thing that mind controlled me dead?
Yeah, assume it's dead.
Okay.
Assume it.
So far, sure.
Okay, now, you would, if we needed help with, I don't know, another major threat, like, say, the Warlocks of Fashion, would you help us kill them?
Maybe. I mean, there's not a lot I can do. I'm not really a fighter. I could
He
bake you
cooks.
into cakes and maybe smuggle you in somewhere. That's something I've done that.
Oh, that
works
sounds
great.
fun.
That could work.
I could put you back together once you died.
That
It's
seems helpful.
yeah.
It's
very
just
good.
helpful.
uses some pricey components, but nothing is as pricey as those clerics.
Yeah, I'm sure we
Absolute
got that.
racket.
Yeah, I
You to
know.
realize that you're a cleric. No offense, Lance. I understand. Church got to make its money, but
Of course.
Well, I mean, yeah, tithes. I have tithes for that.
Oh
But-
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're a cleric too. I knew that. Sorry, I'm just not. I don't really keep up with all the cloud stuff.
Selcress just raising her hand, waving it around.
Euchaunkas
to you.
twitches.
So, just what's wrong?
Where was the shindig for the warlocks anyway?
It was actually hosted by, I think her name was Ugg.
Ugh.
Yeah, very weird warlock.
Oh
I don't know.
god.
It was actually down by the Wilderwood last I heard. Or, well, when I did it, yeah, it was out in the Wilderwood.
There's a
It's pretty close
warlock
by,
in
huh?
the Wilderwood.
Yeah, I hear most of them stay up near the Vale, but
Hey, do you know who all 8 are?
oh,
I know
I
we know
know-
Amarna, Valerian, and La Rel.
well, you understand how they work, right?
No.
How so?
So, I mean, they aren't really warlocks. It's not really a right term for them, though they call themselves that. It's like they discover a secret, like a secret law of fashion. And I guess something like the first one to discover it gains that power or something. Gains power over that. I'm not really entirely sure how it works.
So fashion
There are
isn't
a
their patron.
maximum of 8. I don't know if there are actually 8.
What? There's like 8 secret laws of fashion.
I think. I don't really know.
What's,
I'm not
what's...
super familiar. Look, fashion's weird. I don't
Yeah,
get
it
into
is.
this. I do not touch the fashion community.
I
They
always
can do
assume-
whatever they want. I'm just
Do
not
you
gonna
know what?
not gonna get into
Like,
I always assumed fashion was their patron.
do you know
that.
what the?
No, I'm pretty sure fashion's not a being. Sorry, Selcress?
Do you know what the rule of fashion is for like Valorant and like?
Oh no, I only know Ugg. Ugg is very, very vocal about her rule, about her law. Don't wear white
What's-
after Labor Day.
What? That's
Yeah.
the law.
Yeah, she's one.
She's the first.
But if you
The
are
first law.
to wear white after Labor Day, when do you wear white again? Labor Day is an annual event, isn't it?
I don't know. Look,
New
I
Year!
don't-
New Year!
I don't know anything about this. I can just tell you that much. God. Is anyone getting a terrible headache?
Oh no. Nope.
Selcress scratches the couch behind the cushions.
The couch purred happily.
All right. Well, I think we've taken up enough of Clinton's time. Perhaps we should be somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a good idea! I don't know.
Do we want to visit the Trigonomes?
That's a good idea! We should do that!
Bartholomew!
You say that, and you've never been in a situation before where you're like, you realize that like you don't walk back from quests. You're just kind of back in the shop, and for the first time, as you're kind of leaving Clinton Slaughtermurder's house, you kind of recognize you don't just like fuzz over the journey back, and you just kind of like are all of a sudden in the shop, but you have a lot more cognizance. You remember in the past, the last time, it was just like, you know, you had like a memory of a walk back and like stopping at different taverns and staying at inns, and like eventually you made your way back to the shop, but you're just in the shop again. And as you enter in, the jingle plays. Bartholomew kind of, greetings, adventurers.
Hey,
Hey,
Bartholomew!
The world seems so much smaller this way.
Oh, guys, you're back. Y'all just
Hello, George!
Sorry, we went to visit Clint. He's
That's
good.
okay, Barthol. You put me to work organizing the charms section. Ugh. Can you believe they have multiple different subtypes for some of these charms?
They're
Oh
the
my
new
goodness.
thing, right?
It's very fashionable right now. What the
Yeah.
people crave.
Man, I
Bartholomew.
regret putting that idea in his head.
I'm gonna whisper in Roger's ear. We know what items go to what the evils.
Or at least we
You can
think we
brief me
do.
in between episodes.
Bartholomew,
Ah, yes, Selcress.
have you ever met any of the warlocks of fashion?
Yes, I have met Amana and La Aurel. Did not go in particularly well.
Oh, yeah, well, they
They were
seem
not a
kind of
big f-
snooty.
They were not a big fan of my beard or my cloak. I think my cloak is rather dashing. But
Yeah,
they told me
it looks good on you. Don't worry about it. Oh,
they
I
told
got
me
Clint
that
to
Bloom was
cater our.
last season. Wait, go ahead.
I got Clint to cater our get together. So
Oh, yes, you'd mentioned a get-together this weekend. Oh, that's very good. Clinton Slaughter Murder is a top-rate chef. I gave him 5 stars on Yelp when he catered my birthday party.
I did too.
So, did you need to purchase anything, or?
Actually, could you send us off to visit the Trigonomes?
And Bartholomew kind of looks, ah, yes! And he snaps his fingers, and you are on the streets of Sokotoa. And you kind of look around, you see Trigonomes industriously kind of going about their business, just kind of, looking around, working. There are miscellaneous explosions and kind of the sounds of electronics and all kind of and all kind of manner of contraptions that are being constructed. You see hammers striking buildings as the Trigonomes go about their busy way. A few kind of nod and speak to you as they're in space. Just kind of greetings of hello. You are in Sokotoa.
Have we seen any of the other adventurers around?
No.
All right, let's go to the lab.
There's a lab.
Yeah,
yeah.
space lab.
You kind of move over to the space lab, and as you're kind of walking into it, one of the Trigonomes that's kind of guarding the door goes,
hello there. You must be the adventurers that we had requested. Yes, we're doing. They should be getting underway soon, but we are testing the catapults today. The arcane catapults. It's a technical term. You see an
Yes, we know what the arcane catapults.
Oh, well,
we're not the adventurers.
Oh wait, you're not. I recognize the. I must be waiting for a different group then. My mistake.
Yes, we are here to ask a few questions, talk to you, safety regulations,
Inspections are within city. But I mean, certainly. What do you need? He smiles at you.
What can you tell us about Calculords?
he kind
We
of
will need a full codex entry on it.
And he kind of looks around, and all the gnomes in the immediate vicinity kind of stop, and all just kind of look like a record scratch in the space. And
Why are you talking about the Calculord?
they all there's 5 or 6 gnomes that were hanging around, all just looking at you intently now.
We have information that there may be a very powerful math goblin who is trying to become one.
That is troubling news, no doubt. Okay, I'm gonna bring you to the town guard right now. Come with me.
And instantly a few of the other Trigonomes that are around begin kind of making phone calls and presumably alerting them of your presence. You hear another gnome kind of calling out,
There, rumors of a Calculord coming soon. Rumors of a Calculord coming soon.
You hear kind of a couple of sirens within the building, and they begin walking you.
Euchunkas. Why?
Why? Back when I
Town
spent a
guard.
lot of time here, I would just say Calculord sometimes, and they'd all just lose it.
And as you're As you're kind of walking over to town guard, you see, as you're walking out, a bunch of gnomes wearing kind of the guards' outfits are walking over to greet you. I've been briefed on the situation. The kind of chief gnome goes, "Are you saying you have information regarding the Calculord?"
We are looking for information regarding how one would become one and what to do if they do become one.
Oh, okay.
Selcress just looks at Euchaunkas because this was his idea.
False alarm, people. There's no Calculord rising today.
Yet.
Some of them... Yet, indeed. You have a vigilant mind, and I respect that. Why don't you come with me, and I'll teach you everything you need to know about the Calculord. And he kind of walks you through a lot of the same information that Bartholomew told you, but in a lot more detail. I mean, he describes, for one thing, the kind of hierarchy of the math goblins. There are, of course, the arithmids, which are just every math goblin is an arithmid. They are able to do, addition, subtraction, multiplication, very kind of simple mathematics. And then there are the geomancers, which are the generals of the math goblin army. They have a master over geometry and trigonometry and are able to kind of wield very powerful magics through it. And the kind of power behind it is, while the trigonomes are excellent kind of mathematicians, they don't tap into kind of the dark powers that kind of exist within math, and that one can wield when you have an understanding of some kind of universal truths about, the interaction between numbers. And then he goes on to describe how the Calculord would be born. It was a name that they kind of came up with for a math goblin that were ever to learn calculus, and a lot of their kind of ideas on the Calculord appear to be theory, like what they're talking about. But like, if a math goblin knew that much math with the power that math goblins inherently have, it would be able to reshape reality and bring about the end of days. That's why they keep such a vigilant eye. Their elementary schools are under like lock and key and like guarded like prisons because they contain math texts, things like that.
What manner of countermeasures for Calculord do you have?
We don't think that we would be able to stop Calculord if it were ever to come into existence. This is the reason for our incredible village, and of course, we are developing as many weapons as we can, tools that might be able to overcome one, but...
Has there ever been an ancient artifact that might be good to use against it? Like, say, a book of some kind?
He kind of chuckles a little bit. Books. You would want to talk to those disgraces, the bubble books, about books.
What a tome.
So you really don't have any contingency plan if the Calculord rises?
Our
none?
contingency plan is one of prevention.
That's not a contingency, that's just a plan.
Yeah, that's just a prevention plan. That's not worst case scenario.
In the worst case scenario, we'd throw every bit of force we had to try and stop the creature. Like I said, we have a number of powerful arcane weapons, but, well, if the Calculord is as powerful as we theorize it will be, then we're worried that they won't be enough. We're still developing. Hopefully, within the next few thousand years, we'll have something powerful enough to contend with it.
1,000 years?
This is a battle for generations. We've been fighting it for millennia.
Ugh, I can't wait that long.
Need more of a prompt solution.
How old was that tome?
I agree with you, sir, but that's unrealistic. What did you say, Lance?
Do you happen to remember how old that tome was, Euchaunkas?
Super old. We haven't done a bit on that yet, have we?
No,
Should we?
I don't think so.
Probably.
Probably, but... So, what were you talking about? Who are the Bubba Bucks?
The Bubble Books.
Disgraces.
The Bubble Books family, yes, they run the local library. He kind of chuckles a little bit to himself. They study the liberal arts, and a lot of the surrounding math goblins all kind of wave their hands and just kind of
Surrounding math goblins.
Ooh, shots
Oh,
fired!
math goblins,
I
what?
meant to say triganomes. A lot of the surrounding triganomes kind of all laugh and wave their hands and liberal arts, and they all kind of laugh. We're gnomes of science around here. I almost flipped again.
Selcress leans into Kurogan. Let's go talk to them.
Yes, we should. We need all of the information.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright. I'm talking to you through, I think it's a pigeon nearby. Do you see it? It's just kind of hopping around.
I gotta look around.
There's a pigeon to your left. It's a little bit off looking. Its head is kind of turned at an odd angle, and there's like red stripes on its right wing.
Is this what you mean by bird watching?
No. Actually, I think we're gonna have to pull you guys out of the illusion soon. It's behaving really strangely.
Alright, then we'll have to talk to them later.
I don't know what's going on. I don't want the whole thing to go down. I had to do some weird configuring just to get you back in.
Okay, should we talk to the thing, or should we come back another time?
Let's come
I think
back.
I'm gonna have to pull you out for now.
Okay.
All
Us out.
Hold tight. I guess Euchaunkas, if you want to eat the gnomes, do that real quick.
I don't need the gnomes.
All right, I'm pulling you out in 3, 2, 1.
And the world bleeds around you into white. And then
Oh,
you're standing in that kind of white kind of lobby, that waiting area of sorts. And
That will never not be weird.
I can't imagine it ever being anything else.
and then
Come on.
it kind of a door appears before you with which to exit.
I hop out.
The door is at kind of a little bit of an odd angle. It definitely looks like things are functioning a little bit strangely here. And you hop out through it, and you're in darkness, and then you wake up once more within the observation room.
Did we break it? I think we broke it.
It'll be fine.
I think you pretty much started like several different versions over and over, and then you just left. They didn't stop. Like you started up with one of the adventures, and then you just left and didn't finish it. Does that sound right?
Oh.
Oh.
I think it was running, like, 3
yeah.
at the same time.
I think this is Roger's fault.
I don't. What? How is this my?
You
fault?
need a better processor, obviously. A better magic processor.
Roger just kind of grumbles and starts rambling.
We might as well.
Obviously.
We might as well look up the tome.
Yeah. I'll legend lore the tome.
All right, yeah. As a final move for the day, as we're getting near to time. You legend lore the tome. You've seen it. You don't need any more kind of. You don't really need any more kind of information than just having looked at it for your first kind of legend lore here. And as you begin kind of focusing on the tome, you see a red book on a simple wooden table. As you are kind of observing it, even here in this, as your mind kind of leaves you, you are left with the same sense of confusion and just... It's not quite fear, but a dread at looking at it. And you see a pale hand kind of reach out and open it and begin to kind of write within it. And as the kind of quill strikes the paper, whatever they are writing within, just as the words on the cover seem to kind of quiver and change as you looked at them, so whatever text that they're writing inside, it just kind of moves and it alters and shakes, and you can't grasp onto anything. The moment you think you see a pattern, the moment you think you are able to understand it, it changes again, and your mind just kind of goes blank. And you spend a long time in this vision, kind of watching the book presumably being written. And then it closes, and it kind of, the person holding it, you never see kind of whatever creature touches it, but it's over and kind of placed upon a shelf, and among other books, the books, that you see on this shelf have kind of relatively normal text upon them, but as you're kind of watching it, time seems to continue to pass. You see dust settle on the bookshelf, and eventually you see in your vision a hand reach out and grab for the book once more, but a much smaller hand. It seems to be kind of struggling to even reach the point on the bookshelf where the book is, but it pulls it down, and you look, your vision kind of skews outward to see the individual, and you see a small gnome. It looks to be a gnome that if you've ever encountered, very similar, perhaps a little bit older, a little bit more wizened, but it looks similar to a Winslow Bubble Books.
So what is the bubble books that we must look to for this?
Find Winslow Bubble Books. I cast Divine Intervention.
Alright, roll a d.
Oh, nope. Nothing today.
Nothing happens. And with that,
Jeremy, if I...
Oh, go ahead.
I had booped Jeremy to see if I'd have time, but I think I would also like to Legend Lore of the Ring if we have time.
Jeremy, where are we at? Do we have time?
The ring's pretty quick.
Okay. In that case,
I'll calm you in another day.
You go to kind of Legend Lore, the Ring, and the first thing that you're struck by is sound. You hear a great kind of crashing of steel against steel as a hammer strikes the forge, and you see on it just a circle of light, and with each kind of strike of the hammer on the anvil, the ring kind of curves and changes in form, and your vision kind of sends you around and outside of the central anvil where this ring is being forged, presumably. You see no heat. The only heat is the light of the hammer as it strikes the anvil, and you just seem to be kind of floating in a strange space. And as you're looking around you, in this legend, because it seems that your vision is from the perspective of the one who is forging the ring, you kind of see around you what appears to be odd things kind of moving. You see what looks like just a tree with wings that kind of floats past in kind of like waves. You pay no mind to it. You're very invested in your work in the moment. As you look down below, far, far beneath you, you can see a landscape varied and strange with trees of rainbowed colors where elephants walk around and seem to march as if in a band, where all of these oddities gather and live, apparently. You look up above you and you see stars, brilliant points of light in an infinite space, but your focus keeps returning to the ring before you. You forge endlessly, striking at it with the hammer. And no matter how long you spend, you never feel a satisfaction, any relief. Your toils continue and continue until, after what seems like an eternity, you cast the ring downwards, just dissatisfied, furious, frustrated, and it lands on the ground somewhere below within the plane of dreams. And you kind of stop and sit and wait, hoping that your desire would someday be brought to you, that which you couldn't create yourself. As you stand betwixt the low and high road of the plane of dreams. And that is what you see.
I don't know what I will use it for, but can I divine intervention so I have some time to think of what my divine intervention does?
Okay. You're saying just like, I mean,
Nope.
next time.
Okay,
I'm
fair
gonna
enough.
say no. You gotta know what you're asking for.
Yeah.
Next
Fine
time,
wins the
boys.
bubble book.
The current location of the ring.
All right, sure.
So
Actually,
close.
not quite enough. That's pretty funny. You're one off, but unfortunately.
Oh my. Oof.
All right, and that is now officially going to do it for us. Thank you all for watching.
Yay.
The Legend Tier Adventures are. I imagine there might be another one of these.
Unorthodox, some might say.
Yes, indeed. And requires a lot of understanding of Pete and Jeremy's DnDTime. But with that, thank you all very much for playing. You earned no Bartholomew Bucks. You gained no experience for the first time ever. Yeah, that's it.
We gained knowledge.
You gained
Yeah,
nothing.
knowledge.
Knowledge is power,
And knowledge
kids.
is power.